UN Security Council condemned in the strongest terms the Sinai terrorist attacks which killed and injured dozens of Egyptian soldiers and civilians. In a statement released yesterday, members of the Security Council extended their condolences to the families of the victims and their sympathy to all those injured in these heinous attacks, as well as to the people and government of Egypt. More details in the following report by Hiba Abdulrahman.
UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon condemned today the recent militant attacks on Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. The 15-member body of the United Nations Security Council reiterated their determination to combat all forms of terrorism in accordance with its responsibilities under the Charter of the UN. In the statement, the UNSC underlined the need to bring preparators, organizers, financiers and sponsors of this terrorist attack to justice and urged all states, in accordance with their obligations under international law and relevant Security Council resolutions, to cooperate actively with the Egyptian government in this regard. They also reminded states that they must ensure that measures taken to combat terrorism comply with all their obligations under international law, in particular international human rights, refugee and humanitarian law. Also, the Arab League, GCC Council, the United States and Singapore, along with other countries and organizations, have condemned the militant attacks on Egypt's Sinai Peninsula that left at least 30 people dead and many others wounded. Militants carried out a wave of attacks on military facilities and personnel in the northeastern Sinai Peninsula, leaving at least 30 people dead. Responsibility for the attacks was claimed by the Wilayat Sinai militant group, formerly known as Ansar Bayt al-Maqdis. Following these terrorist attacks, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has cut short a visit to an African Union summit to deal with such attacks. State media said that el-Sisi headed today an urgent meeting for the Supreme Council of the Armed Forces to discuss the current situation in Sinai Peninsula. Active in Sinai Peninsula, the organization acquired its current name after reportedly swearing allegiance to the so-called IS. Egyptian security forces have been waging a campaign against militants in Sinai, which shares borders with both Israel and Gaza Strip, amid a rise in attacks on army and police personnel since the ousting of Mohammed Morsi in 2013. On 24th of October, at least 31 soldiers were also killed in an attack on a military site in North Sinai, prompting Egyptian authorities to declare a state of emergency and curfew in some areas of the restive province.